Hello and welcome back to Crow's Whisper Tarot. Today we are going to be looking at your karmic path in this lifetime. That can be anything from events that will take place to relationships that you might encounter. So let's jump into the reading. Hello pile one, you guys picked out the Celestite crystal. Let's look at your cards. So the first thing that we have is you don't hate yourself, you hate not being yourself. So in this lifetime, one of the parts that you may encounter or have already encountered is a lot of self-doubt, understanding who you are at your core, and also understanding how to process events in your life to make work in your favor compared to work against you. So there is a really big element of understanding yourself that is coming through with that one. We also have water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This could either be your moon sign or it can be a very significant part of your chart. So it might be on your astrological chart. So have a look at that if that is something that you're interested in. But again, water signs tend to be very emotional and can have very deep emotional ties. So that can be with the people around you, or it can also be with the sort of events that take place, how your emotions react to certain situations. That's something that you might be facing. In addition to that, we have the Six of Swords, and we also have the Star card reversed. So part of this journey in your life, you're going to find that there are quite significant times where you're feeling depressed, that you're feeling like the events that are taking place in your life is going against you, not working in your favor, tend to drain you a lot of the time. And part of it can be relationships with others, but part of it can also just be negative self-talk within yourself, finding that you're not connecting well to the people around you, or not having very deep ties to the people around you. So you feel like you're just connected on a surface level, but you don't feel like you can have deep conversations with others. But obviously with the Six of Swords cards, we are moving towards being in that stuck energy and moving towards calmer shores, moving towards a sense of calm within yourself, but also a really good understanding of the inner workings of your mind and your emotions, and what trigger you and what change your pathway and things like that. So, and again, we have Pluto with rebirth, which obviously moving into calmer shores, but also having a massive transformation of self is something that is really significant for you. It can also be that you're going to find that understanding your emotions, learning how to deal with times where you're going into those sort of dark periods. So it can be things like obsessions or escapism for some of you, especially with that Pisces energy. It can also be ways to comfort yourself and understanding the best way to comfort yourself in situations that don't work in your favor. Those sort of deeper workings of your mind, being able to develop those so that you can sort of grow in the future as well. But those are the major themes that you're going to find in this lifetime. Is just, especially with Pluto, it's going to be not encountered once, but encountered many times in your life, where you're going to find the biggest challenge is trying to navigate those times continuously and learning from each event that takes place. That's something that would be really significant. That all wants to come out, which is interesting. Let's see. We have the Four of Cups and the Magician as well. And the other one we had was the Seven of Wands reversed. Ooh, very heavy themes coming out. Again, with you don't hate yourself, but you hate not being yourself. I feel like a massive part of the karmic journey in this lifetime is being able to understand as many aspects of your life as possible. And those situations are based on you being accepting of parts of yourself that you don't want to acknowledge. So a lot of shadow work, being able to get into an energy where you are focusing more on what works for you, what your core beliefs are, understanding the core relationships that you have or the relationships that you want, the type of people who mean something in your life versus the ones that tend to have negative ties or create negative emotions within ourselves. That's just something that you want to keep in mind. In addition to that, being able to see your own magic, being able to see all the possible things that you're able to create and the things that you're able to accomplish in life. It's seeing your own power. And I feel like that's, again, part of the adventure that you have to encounter, is being able to have a stronger belief in self is what I'm getting more than anything. And with the 7 of Wands reversed, you're going to have to let other people into your circle. You're going to have to let other people, understand those sort of deeper emotions and deeper thought processes that you have. Being able to connect on a deeper level to other people means that you have to be vulnerable, and that's, extremely hard to do in times where you're trying to protect yourself. So that's just something that you want to keep in mind. In addition to that, we have the Knight of Swords reversed. So typically, Knight of Swords reversed would indicate that you're not holding back on your thoughts and emotions, especially being the back of the deck energy. It's something that you want to work towards, is being blunt, saying what you feel like. Don't try and shy away from things that you think other people will dismiss. Even if they do dismiss it, you have to put your words out there, and having that sense of awareness that not everyone is going to like you, not everyone is going to accept what you have to say or what you do, but that doesn't mean it's not part of yourself and it's not worth something. So it's something to keep in mind. Just, putting yourself first is a very big theme, but at the same time understanding that there's a lot of new and exciting connections that are going to come through as well. So I'm going to leave that there. There's another few cards that wanted to come out again for you, which is interesting. It does feel like with this energy that you're definitely on the right path, is the vibe I'm getting at this stage. I don't feel like this is going to be something that you won't be able to move past. It's definitely something that you will have to move past. Again, karmic, so you will face it eventually. But how you choose to do that is really up to you. But this is funny. So with the Okash and Thorn deck, we have the 4 of Cups, and again we have the 4 of Cups but reversed. So again, you are on the right track, opening yourself up to new possibilities, accepting yourself, accepting gifts from others. It can also be, if you are someone who shies away from compliments and you try not to react a certain way to receiving a compliment, being open to receiving, being open to getting new things, being rewarded for what you have, acknowledging your own achievements, that sort of thing is something that you need to work on. We also have the 4 of Swords reversed as well. So again, being able to put your energy towards things that you want to achieve, with that Magician card mirroring it as well. It is something that you want to acknowledge, is that you want to be as powerful, as strong, as creative as you can be, and that's going to lead to a lot of amazing circumstances in the future. And we got the Magician card again. So if you let yourself, if you put down your barriers, if you're able to be vulnerable, if you're able to accept all parts of yourself, but also being able to be open to new experiences, new things, change is a really big factor in this lifetime. You're going to encounter a lot of almost like strange or scary or sudden changes in your life on a continuous basis. But that's going to eventually lead to a lot of amazing circumstances being built up through it. It's a matter of you going through the stages of growing, and that's going to lead to the most complete version of yourself, is by going through those trials continuously. You're going to achieve something completely amazing and outshine what you were in the past. So one thing that I would highly recommend for this group is to sort of go back and look at how you were 5 years before now, and 5 years before that, and 5 years before that. And for some of you, that could be, you know, something in childhood. For others of you, it could be in, you know, the mid-stage of life, but it doesn't really matter. What it looks like is, from my perspective, is every 5 years you have gone through such significant amount of change that you would never be able to see yourself in this position. And so it's just something that you need to really look at and investigate and appreciate how much you have changed over this period of time. And you are going to lead into something that is strong and stable with that Justice card. So definitely something to keep in mind in this lifetime, is that change is going to be a constant factor, and you just have to push through, persevere, and amazing things will occur because you do push through and persevere. So that was your reading, pile 1. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Welcome, pile 2, to your reading. Let's have a look at your cards for what your karmic pathway is in this lifetime. We have, it is your own responsibility to expand instead of just contracting. We also have, just throw time at it until it's a thing. We also have spy. Someone's got their eye on you and you are doing research. We have the 7 of Pentacles reversed and the Knight of Cups reversed. So, with the current energy that I'm getting, the main karmic pathways in your lifetime is learning to let yourself shine, learning to become resilient, putting your time and energy into something that is significant to you, and also being able to navigate with finding the best pathway for you and finding your path forward, especially with that spy card that came out. And the ability to not sit and wait for things, but taking action is something that is very significant for this group. And with the Knight of Cups reversed, you might find that socializing, romantic, platonic, doesn't matter, but I feel like that's going to be a blocker at this point in your karmic journey. You're going to find that it's harder to create relationships, it's harder to maintain relationships. Communication and misunderstanding could be something that is very significant. So that's something to keep in mind, but we'll investigate that a little bit further down the track. But the main thing is being able to put your time and energy into something and be able to create things because you have put time and energy into various aspects of life. For example, if you are working on a project, not just focusing on the topic at hand, but understanding how to create a slideshow as best as you can, then, you know, creating a voiceover, creating other things, researching things on not just topic, but the, I guess, causes and reactions of that topic that you have in your mind, and delving so deep into it that you have more than enough information that you can build something off of. But that is what's coming to mind at this stage. Is this karmic journey seems to be more along the lines of you creating something significant for yourself. It feels very much like Saturn energy, where it's just long-term consistency, slow moving, and that seems to be directed towards more of a research work style, I guess. And we do have Gemini with cross-pollinate, which may have linked to the Knight of Cups reversed as well previously, but it does seem like along this time frame that being able to communicate, being able to get your point across, and also being heard is something that is very significant. Again, socializing to some capacity, but it definitely feels more along the lines of research at this stage. But let's get a bit more information on what your karmic journey is. Okay, I think that's it. I think that wanted to go with the Knight of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so we have the Moon card reversed. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. We have the Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords reversed. And we also had the Hangman reversed specifically for the Knight of Cups. So let's focus on the Knight of Cups energy first. So with the Hangman reversed, it means there is an element of not being able to create stable relationships, or having relationships with a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of errors in communication, and that's something that is part of this lifetime. It's going to be something that is not quite constant, but you're going to encounter it multiple times regardless of who you're interacting with. So even if you're interacting with really close family, if you say something, they're very quick to either pick up a nuance that you're not trying to get across, but they pick up that nuance and they assume something else that you've mentioned. So it could be as simple as you asking someone to do a certain task and they get the implication that they're, useless, or, that you're angry at them. Even if that's not the case, that's the way they interpret that nuance, and it creates a lot of misunderstandings. And I feel like that's something that you may encounter multiple times, and it can build off as something minor to something quite major and cause a lot of disturbances. So we'll have a look a bit later on how to move past that, but that's one of the things you might encounter. The other thing that you might encounter as well is feeling the need to constantly move positions, constantly relearn things in order to accumulate wealth. And I feel like your goal is, again, more pentacles, money, financial related, where you're able to build off what you already have by doing a lot of research and doing a lot of investigation, being able to pick up as much information as you can for yourself on various topics, even if it's not something work related. Constantly researching and learning and gaining more universal knowledge, I suppose you could call it, will bring a lot of fortune your way, bring a lot of clarity on your path ahead, and it will lead to a much more stable life. The main obstacle being the energy, where you have to do a lot of work in terms of figuring out how to navigate the social aspect of things is what I'm picking up. But let's get a bit more information on what pile 2 can do to improve that. So we have the 8 of Wands, the Sun card, and the 4 of Swords. The main thing I'm picking up with that social aspect is, especially with the 8 of Wands, being able to practice being as direct and straightforward as you can, being able to be as positive as you can with your approach to things. Sometimes it can, if you think of communication as a whole, there is the tone of voice, the expression you use on your face, as well as any physical body movements that you have along with what you actually say. And I feel like with this group in particular, what you need to pick up on in terms of the way you respond to things is really focus on the conversation at hand, really try and listen for cues from the other person's tone and match their tone with yours. And try not to lose that positivity, try not to you know, immediately go on the defensive when this person or whoever it is talks about a misunderstanding or interprets it a different way. Try and keep your calm as much as possible. Try and hold on to what is important to you as much as possible. And try and slow down as much as you can. Don't try and force a conversation and make it one-sided. Don't try and, you know, make your tone having a quality that is a little bit too aggressive, or I guess putting too much emphasis on your words rather than using your tone to sort of help soften the blow, I suppose is what you could call it. But there's an element of trying to practice that. And it could be that it's someone close. It could be with, you know, someone who is, you know, in your authority. But it can be that that's a major barrier to this entire growth that you are going to have. But it's important that you go through this so that you can reach the end and have a lot of success and happiness in life and stability more than anything else. And I think being able to maintain those connections are really important. So see how you go. But that was your reading, pile 2. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So we start off with I am brand new. And we go through the source, baby me, childhood me, and teenage me growing outwards. So you are going to go through an incredible amount of inner transformation. You're going to find that you're going to experience a lot of, I would say, from happy to intense to painful experiences in your lifetime, and every time you are going to grow from it, and it's just part of your path forward, which is not the best thing to hear, I know, but it is something that is very significant for you. You're going to find that there's going to be a lot of opportunities, a lot of experiences that are going to be difficult and intense, and you're going to have to build upon yourself and create something that is a whole. So you're going to be impacted by a lot of different experiences in this lifetime. We also have divorce, experiencing a breakup. Now, this can also be within the family, within, you know, several relationships that you have, platonic or romantic in that sense. For some of you, it can be specifically divorce, but for the most part, it is going to be experiences that are significant enough to create a change in your life, or having a significant impact on your life and the way you see things, especially paired with the moon card as well. You're going to be going through a lot of internal transformations, a lot of emotionally significant moments in life, especially from a young age. You're going to have a lot of experiences that are going to shape you, not necessarily to be, you know, to be painful, but it's going to be shaping you to create a stronger version of you, a mentally stronger version of you, a more resilient, a more creative, at times jaded version of yourself. But it is meant to cause you to draw on those moments. We also have solar calm and clarity. So you're going to find there's going to be a lot of moments where you feel, you know, drawn down. You're going to feel weak. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel like life is just not working out the way it should be. You're going to, you know, have a lot of anger and sometimes pity towards yourself as part of this. There's going to be a lot of experiences where you feel like, why me? It's going to feel like life is just constantly throwing, you know, cannonballs at me, and I am literally being pelted down and I don't know what to do. Like, there's going to be a lot of moments of that sort of energy within your life, and it's going to be something that you will eventually grow out of, and it's going to get to the point where nothing sort of phases you and nothing breaks you down, nothing makes you feel less of yourself. It's constantly going to be something that you just become more resilient to build upon. You know how to deal with these situations a lot quicker, a lot more effectively. You know how to hold yourself up and keep yourself motivated and keep yourself strong. And that's probably the main messages I'm getting at this stage. But let's have a look at a few other messages. 6 of Pentacles. We have Possibilities, which is a unique card to this deck. We have the Knight of Swords reversed, which a lot of the piles have been getting. We have the 8 of Wands reversed. And we also have the 9 of Pentacles reversed. So, karmic patterns in this lifetime. You're going to find that after you experience these intense moments and changes in your life, you're going to find that things occur very slowly, that someone comes out of the woodwork to pull you up, or that, you know, someone's going to give you information or resources, or, you know, ignite some sort of passion within yourself, and sort of draw you into certain communities or circles that give you support. You're going to find that that happens almost on a regular basis. You're going to find that through these moments, you're going to have a lot of people, a lot of, you know, spirits, entities. You might sense that. For some of you, it can also be, you might get a lot of different jobs or experiences or just small encounters with people you don't usually encounter. And that's going to build up over time, where you keep experiencing these unique and sort of random things that happen, but it just helps you to bring yourself back up and almost make you lead a much better life or have a much better experience because of it. But you have to go through this down period of period and then build up into something that is beautiful and that helps you grow into someone who is more unique or, you know, more stable in that sense. But you're going to experience a lot of, I wouldn't say pain and suffering, but that is sort of the vibe of, you will have to make yourself into your own suit of armor, is what I'm getting. So, any additional messages on group 3's karmic path? Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit. So, Page of Cups, 6 of Swords, 2 of Wands, 10 of Wands, 2 of Cups, the Magician reversed, and the Queen of Swords, reversed as well. The main energies from these experiences is that you are going to be led to your best possible outcome. There's going to be this very significant point in time that after you've gone through, you know, so many versions of yourself, that there's just going to be one significant point in time where everything just flips, like a switch flips, and you are going to have the, hate to call it this, but the perfect life. Literally, the perfect life. All these like significant pylons of, you know, being pulled left and right, being pulled out of situations, you know, having all these down phases of your life where things just aren't going to plan. It's just going to be this one significant moment in time, and then everything is just flipped on its head, and you are going to have the most beautiful, most perfect life. You are going to have the relationships that you want, romantic or not. You're going to have the relationships that you deserve, the people in your life that you deserve, the love and affection you deserve. You're also going to be experiencing a lot of significant life-changing moments, moving towards the dreams that you want, the ambitions, the life, the, journey that you want. You are going to have it all. And it's mainly because of your own strength and your own abilities that you're going to get this. It is literally, if you have strong spiritual ties, it could be that because you have developed and maintained those ties that you get this amazing experience as well. So keep that in mind. In addition to that, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. What this means is you are going to encounter so many new experiences that are going to make you into someone who is a figure of authority to someone else, and you're going to lead them towards their goals and help them through this difficult time for them. It might just be one person for some of you, it could be many people depending on what your situation is, but the overall effect is you're giving back towards others who are going through the same phase as you. So you're going to build your own community that is going to support you. It is going to help you through, not help you through, but help others through whatever journey you have already experienced, and similar journeys to that. So keep that in mind. You are going to become someone else's star, someone else's shining light, and that is going to lead them out of their own Ten of Swords energy. So you're definitely someone who will have a lot of significance in other people's lives, but again, you have to go through a lot of phases to get to this point, and you are going to have, once you get past this point, an amazing life. So that was your reading, pile 3. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Welcome, pile 4, to your reading on your karmic pathways. We have, just because they put a square on your head doesn't mean you're not still in school. We have intuition. Red flags you have been ignoring will come back to bite you later. We have the Five of Swords reversed, and we also have Temperance. So, in terms of your karmic pathways, you're going to be finding that if you don't continuously put your time and energy into learning about the world, or learning about yourself, or putting your energy into gaining more knowledge on the world around you, not necessarily, again, education-wise, but learning, instruments, new hobbies, religious aspects, religious text, being able to understand the makings of the world, or, for example, if you need to rebuild your kitchen, you learn about kitchen renovation, plumbing, electrical work, learning those small things in detail, constantly putting your time and energy into learning. You're not going to find that you are going to have a very good intuition. The moment you stop any aspect, or you feel like if you, for example, you stop putting your energy into seeking more knowledge, then you're going to find that things don't go your way, that there's going to be continuous blockages in your life, that you sort of make yourself face uncomfortable scenarios, and it makes you lose that significant part of yourself. It is the most crucial factor in your life to continuously learn, even if it's something small, even if it's, again, a hobby you learn for a day, or just learning a fact about something as random as a plant. You just need to constantly put your energy into that, otherwise you will lose a lot in this lifetime, and that's your biggest karmic pathway. But the way it sort of manifests is you then face a lot of difficult and uncomfortable situations you can't avoid, and situations that don't benefit you, and you will continuously experience those sorts of things until you sort of go back into learning. And so it could be for some of you, you lose your job, or you get, kicked out, or something else along those lines. That is just something to keep in mind. In addition to that, we have dignified with strength. So you're going to find, again, that your journey towards your best self and your best life is going to be continuously connected to you becoming more knowledgeable, being able to grow and create in this lifetime. And if you're finding that that hasn't been happening, or that things haven't been going to your plan and there's a lot of blockages that are coming through, it can also present as having your intuition being cut off, or not being able to have a strong sense of the people around you, things along those lines. You're going to find that that is going to be the case. So let's get a few additional messages to this scenario. Pile 4. So we have the 10 of Pentacles reversed, the 5 of Cups reversed, the 6 of Wands reversed, the 9 of Wands, and Justice. So ultimately, in this life, you are going to find that the way out of these situations is being able to distance yourself from members of family that tend to pull you into those negative loops. Being able to create with the emotions that you have and be able to utilize that energy into something more productive. And you're going to find that your own success is going to come through you, not through the people you're with or projects that you work on. It's about your own power that you're able to generate. And you're going to find that if you don't access that knowledge, if you don't have the ability to embrace those aspects of yourself, you're going to face a lot of hardships. You're going to face moments where you are feeling like things are falling apart, or that you are weak and your energy is depleted. And that can also present as insomnia or difficulty during the day. Might be high reliance on stimulants to help during the day as well. And with Justice card, it can be that you are going to have a disconnect between your emotions and your mind, and you're going to find that one competes with the other a lot of the time. So you might find that you sort of go back and forth on certain topics, or feel like you are unable to embrace the entirety of your own power, and that's something that you want to work on. Those are probably the main messages, but let's get a little bit more. That's it. So we have the 4 of Swords reversed, the King of Cups, and the Emperor reversed as well. So the best foot forward at this point in time for you is knowing that by your own power you are going to succeed, and by your own power you are going to put yourself in a not so comfortable situation where your plans don't come to pass. So everything in this lifetime is through your own control. But again, if you feel like you're at a disconnect, if you feel like you are not at your best self, that things aren't going to plan, it might be worth just reviewing where you spend your time during the day, and especially with, the way things are now with the internet, knowing what you are consuming and knowing what is sort of, staying in your mind. You might want to change how you go about things you do and trying to learn as much as possible. It could be just, basic worldly events. It can be creatively or even religiously, spiritually, what sort of messages you want to come about. But the more you put your time and energy to absorbing, almost being in hermit mode, the more reward you're going to have in the future. So that was your reading, pile 4. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Hello and welcome, pile 5, to your reading. We start off with Summon the Otherworldly. And we also have You're never more than a half step away from being in the flow. We have Pregnancy. Someone is expecting, and Date Night. Get ready to be wined and dined. Very different energies, I will say, to what I was expecting with that first card. But we have Knight of Swords reversed, and we also have Strength. So I'm going to take it as one for each energy. First of all, it can be that this group is highly spiritual. And it can be that that's one of the major pillars of karma in this lifetime, is connecting to that otherworldly spiritual nature. It can also be religious for some people, but it is being able to connect to, divine spirits, whatever you want to call it, and finding a practice for yourself. And you're going to find that by evolving that practice over time, you're going to be rewarded exponentially in the 3D, I guess is what you can call it. And being more than half step away from being in the flow is, again, being able to access that energy is going to bring you a lot of wealth and comfort and growth as a person. And you might be someone who initially has a little bit of difficulty with speech or being a bit shy. You're not feeling like you can express yourself as clearly, but by going through that spiritual pathway, you might find that communication with people get better. You might build more connections. You might also have a lot of experience and I guess your plans working in your favor, or your plans speeding up a lot quicker than what you would typically expect. So that's something to keep in mind. With Pregnancy and Date Night, I believe romance is part of your karma, and the person involved in that romance is also part of your karma. So you might find there's a lot of karmic relationships from past life, relationships, what was it? There was a quote from somewhere where your spouse in this lifetime was an enemy from the past or something like that. So for some of you, it can be a relationship that is from a past life where you either pledged to be together, or it can be someone who you are meant to, recreate something that is not as toxic. So something to keep in mind, but love and hate are not too far apart, so you never know. But let's get a few more messages. Actually, before that, Midhaven Pinnacle is the other card that came out for you guys. So it can be, again, that these two events of spirituality and romance is something that is very significant for you. If you are someone that wants kids, then that could also be a significant karmic event for you as well. And it could be something that leads to a lot of special circumstances, a lot of benefits to you as well. So let's have a look at some of the messages that come up. That was it, and I'll take that for that side. We have Justice. We also have the 10 of Swords reversed and the 2 of Cups. On the side, we have the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Wands. So if you are looking for marriage in this lifetime, could be something, or at least a permanent partnership of some sort, that is going to be very significant for you in this lifetime. So starting off with the spiritual journey and I feel like in effect it is going to be your most significant point of life. It's going to come, your spiritual connection, it's going to come at a time, obviously, when you are not at your best. It is going to be at a time that is very, like, you feel like you have no one and you feel like you have no support. And so in this sort of isolating period of life, you're going to find this, and it's going to be something that you find automatically clicks, and it's something that you feel has made your life better or has made you grow in some sort of capacity. We also have the Two of Cups related to this as well. So you might find that you have a very good intuition or very strong connection to spirit. It can also be that you can recognize your spirit guides if that's something that you believe in, and connect towards. Could also be along the lines of angels and gods and things along those lines as well. So if you connect to that energy, then that is something that could really benefit you. And with the Justice card, it's something that you have to do on a regular basis. It's something that you have to build a routine around, something that you have to follow to a T. It's not something that you can be sort of on and off with. You have to be as to the point, straightforward as you should be with this connection. So don't take it lightly. If you take it lightly, you're going to find that a lot of your dreams and ambitions are going to be slightly skewed. You're going to find that you're not exactly getting what you need to get. And it's through consistency and effort that you're going to get those rewards and that sort of midhaven miracle that is going, pinnacle that is going to come through for you as well. And in terms of the pregnancy date night cards that we started off with, we have the Eight of Swords. So this is going to be a connection that is not going to be known to you for quite some time. And again, if you're very connected to spirit, you might be able to connect to that particular energy. But you are going to be left, you're not going to get all the answers from this sort of spirituality part of life. It's something that you have to be open towards and work towards in your own time. And it might not be the right time for you, but it will happen on time, based on the approach of this. But you're going to find potentially that relationships prior have been a bit unbalanced. It could be that previous relationships to this haven't given you the time of day, or just haven't worked in your favor, or you have been sort of put in a corner or dismissed in some capacity. And by you learning your own worth, your own strength, your beauty, things like that, seeing yourself in the best possible light, accepting all parts of yourself, this is going to manifest a lot quicker. So that's something to keep in mind. But with the Four of Wands, again, this could be a long-term partnership, someone who is either your soulmate or having a very significant connection to your life. But let's get a few more details on all of that. That was it. So we have the Hangman reversed, the Six of Wands reversed, and the Queen of Cups reversed for this side. You're going to find the strongest sense I'm getting is you need to find a way to worship spirit or gods in whatever capacity you have, to be very selective with who you wish to dedicate yourself to. And it does specifically mean dedicate. I feel like with this group you would want to stick to one particular entity that you're going to pray towards, build your spirituality off of, because that's going to give you the most direct path. Think of it as a light beam. You don't want to split your energy too far and it sort of misses target, I guess. But through that sort of constant dedication and being able to do it in the most accurate, correct way, then you're going to get a lot of benefits from it. For example, dedicating a time of day to do a ritual of any sort, or certain prayer, going to religious sites on a regular basis, things along those lines. Find what's right for you. But the main message is to, again, be very specific on who you wish to pray for and maintain those prayers. So that's a vague message, but take, again, whichever resonates for you. In terms of that date night, we have the Four of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. So with both of those, it is about you, through this relationship, through having kids or being in a point in time where you are able to experience romance in the best possible ability, being able to gain a partner who is stable, who is open to relationships, who is not toxic. That is something that will come to this group at some point in time. Definitely will happen, but you just need to keep your eye out and be open to receiving. And obviously you need to, between following your intuition and your heart and mind, you need to make up a decision. So that's something to look forward to, I suppose. It will happen if it's karmic, so something to keep in mind for that. But that was your reading. Hope you enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one, Pile 5. Bye.